Very good morning, all. Please type yes in the chat box just to confirm that you can see my screen and hear my voice. So if you can see my screen and hear my voice, please type yes in the chat box. And I'll also suggest that make sure in the settings you select 720p as the resolution. That way, whatever you will be seeing on the screen would be much more clear versus if you have selected resolution which is a little lower, right? So make sure your resolution is selected as 720p. And thank you so much for the confirmation that you guys can see the live stream and also hear me. Perfect. So let's start with the today's live stream. And right, the topic was the one and only demand and supply scanner and screener. So when it comes to, okay, first thing, myself, Sujit Kakar, right? I'm very sure all of you would know, if not much, a little bit about me. And thank you so much for joining in on a Sunday morning, right? So the first thing is, as a trader, whenever we are planning our trades, right? So the very first thing is when we have to plan our trades, we need to have some trade setups. I mean, the a list of some stocks with us, right? As an example, if I'm trading the NSE market, I need to have a list of stocks in which I will be looking for stocks which will match with our trade plan. So how do we get that list of stocks? Now, every trader has a different way to do it. As an example, some of you might be having your favorite stocks, right? So those are the stocks you have been trading for a number of years, and now you have created a favorite list of your stocks. And whenever you are identifying some trading opportunities, you're only doing that on your favorite list of stocks. The second way people, try to identify or shortlist stocks is by using filters. Now, some filters can be very, very simple. As an example, maybe you're only looking at the Nifty 50 stocks, right? So very simple filter that I don't want to look at 200 or 300 stocks. I only want to look at the Nifty 50 stocks, and that is what you look into. The other way can also be maybe, you have some blue chip companies, right? So, and those are the only companies you would like to look into, right? Another example, which Bhopal Singh, he just mentioned, can be the FNO stocks, right? That I don't want to look at too many stocks. I only want to look at stocks which also get traded in the futures, so that in case I want to plan my trade on futures, I can also do that, right? And the third way can be by using some scanners. Now, scanners can be much more complex, right? Scanners can be based on fundamentals, can also be based on technicals. I'm just giving you a example of a technical scanner where you might be using some indicators, oscillators, n number of things to to identify stocks which match with your requirements, right? So irrespective whether you have your favorite list of stocks or whether you're using some filters or you use a scanner, you always have a list of stocks, and that is the list of stocks you always go through when you're planning your trades. And here today especially we are talking about when we are doing our demand and supply analysis, right? And again, I'll add, I can see a lot of people are watching the stream with the resolution which is very, very low. So I'll request you that in the settings you can change your resolution to 720p. That way, whatever you're seeing on the screen, the text would be much more crisp and would be clear to you, versus if your stream resolution is set to, let's say, 480 or 360, right? So that is what I can see. A lot of you are watching in 360, even in 240p, which is a very low resolution, and the text would not be crisp. So make sure you have selected 720p as the resolution for the live stream at your end. Now, moving ahead, now what happens is when you create this shortlist, you will face a lot of challenges, especially when it comes to the demand and supply analysis. The first thing is if your list is very, very small, and now when you're looking at identifying your demand areas or supply areas, on a very small list, you might not be able to identify some quality zones, right? Because you already have a small list. Once you go through that list by one, the lower time frame is not showing you any quality demand area or supply area, which means you don't have a trading opportunity. If your list is very large, then the challenge is it would be very time consuming. So let me put this question to all of you. I can see we have a lot of people joining in. So those of you who are trading based on demand and supply, how long does it take you on average to scan your list and identify some trading opportunities? So if you can just give me an idea in the chat box, on average, how much time are you spending? to identify the trading opportunities based on demand and supply. If you trade demand and supply, right? Yes, if you're using some other methodology, it can vary. So I'll just wait for your replies and see what is the average time which I get from you people. All right, so let's see what is the average time. All right, so some of you saying 30 minutes. How about others? 5 to 6 hours. Okay, so you're spending a lot of time, 5 to 6 hours every day to identify your trading opportunities. All right, how about others? Right. What I have seen in my experience is, on average, people definitely spend somewhere around an hour, 1 hour to 2 hour, to identify the trading. Okay, you're going through the complete big trade list. Yes, definitely. So which means you're looking almost at around 150 scripts, and some of you saying 1 hour, some of you saying 3 hours, right? So yes, that is where the challenge is. If your list is a long list, then it would be very, very time consuming, because you have to go through every script. And once you're going through every script, you have to look at the lower time frame, the intermediate time frame, the high time frame, which is very, very time consuming. The next challenge is that even if you are having a small list, or even if you're having a large list, you're also wasting a lot of time. Why you're wasting a lot of time? Because I'm very sure that, somebody said I go through Nifty 50 stocks. Somebody said I go through the big trade list. I'm a swing trader. I analyze 5 to 8 hours in front of the computer. All right. So can you see, if you're looking at Nifty 50 stocks, I'm very sure all 50 stocks will not give you trading opportunities. Probably you'll get your trading opportunities in 2 or 3 scripts. Similarly, if you're looking at the big trade list and looking at around 130 scripts, again, you will not be getting 50, 60 trading opportunities or trading setups. You might only be getting maybe 6 or 7, right? So which means that most of the stocks you're wasting time, right? Because you had to go through that process. And after wasting a lot of time, you're only left with a handful of trading opportunities, right? So that's one of the biggest challenge. Irrespective whether your list is small or your list is large, you will always be wasting a lot of time also looking at scripts where nothing quality is available. Now, the next challenge is, if you are a very active trader, or let's say you're a full-time trader who's always in front of the computer, you would have also seen that at times you're looking at one script, and once you switch to another script, you realize that there was an amazing trading opportunity which you just missed. And then you feel that if I would have looked at this trading opportunity, let's say maybe 5 minutes before, I could have participated, right? So that is where you feel, if I had some system where uh, as soon as we have a demand area or a supply area, we immediately get an alert, that would have maybe helped you to participate in that trading opportunity. So that is also something which happens, especially for people who are full-time traders or very active traders and also trading during the live market, that you can't monitor all these scripts at one given point of time, which is where you can miss a lot of trading opportunities, right? And the next thing is that if you're using some scanners, you would have seen that all scanners are lagging, and most of the scanners which are available in the market are EOD, which means they only do your scan at the end of the day. During the live market, it is also challenging to do the scan. So that's another challenge with most of the scanners, that they are lagging. Plus, on top of that, even if they're not lagging, they are using real-time data. The problem would be that the scanners again would be based on conventional technical analysis, which is your moving averages, your indicators, your oscillators, uh, which by default are lagging, right? So even if your data feed for the scanners is live, the tools which you have to scan is lagging. Therefore, those scanners will always lag. And the next challenge is that when it comes to especially demand and supply, it takes 2 hours to do the Nifty 50 stocks. All right. So that is what I said, that is what I've seen the averages, which is around, people take usually an hour to maybe 2 hours to identify their trading ideas. Now, the next challenge, like I was talking about, is that especially for demand and supply, we don't have any scanner available. Right. So Deepak, I can see your request if I can do it in Hindi. So what I'll do is, let's do this stream in English. The next weekend, I'll do one in Hindi, right? So definitely I'll do that. So next weekend, I'll do the same thing. And next weekend, let me do it in Hindi. So I'll also do that. Definitely, I'll take that request. Right. So these are some of the challenges. Now, what is the solution to these challenges? The solution to these challenges is something which we call as our alerts. So this alerts, is the scanner also scanning commodity? Now, Sanjay, the reason, I mean, we can use it to scan even commodities, but we have not done that as of now. The reason for that is when it comes to commodities, you only have handful number of scripts, right? Like you have gold, copper, silver, aluminium, nickel, crude oil, natural gas, right? So probably you have around 7 to 8 scripts, which is not a very big number where you would require a scanner to do that. But yes, if required, we can also apply it to commodities as well, right? So we can apply it to any asset we want. So basically, it's a universal kind of a scanner which we have created. In our watch list, we can add anything from our watch list. We can remove anything. So it can also be applied to commodities. Now, the features which are alerts they have, and how these features they take care of the shortcomings which we just discussed a few minutes back. The first thing is that the alerts which you'll be getting would be live alerts, right? And what do we mean by live alerts? That as soon as a demand zone or a supply zone gets formed on any of the lower time frames, right? By any of the lower time frame, I mean that uh, our scanner is basically monitoring all purposes of trading, your hourly income trade, your daily income trade, your weekly income trade, monthly income trade. So it is keeping an eye on all time frames, and on whichever time frame a quality demand area or a supply area is identified, you immediately get your alert. The alerts which you get is within less than 30 seconds. So less than 30 seconds, you immediately get an alert that a demand zone or a supply zone has formed, with the complete details. What is the name of the script? On which time frame is that zone available? At what time the zone completed? What is the pattern of that zone? So I'll be showing you some examples. You get that complete information, and it is live. You get it as soon as these zones are created, right? Less than 30 seconds is when you get your alerts. The next feature is that you, like I already said, you get alerts for your all purposes of trades, be that hourly income, daily income, weekly income, or monthly income. And plus, on top of that, we also provide you an Excel sheet which will help you further shortlist. If you have some personal preferences, you can use your personal preferences to further shortlist that list. And I'll be showing you a few examples as we move ahead. So now the challenges which we talked about, right, which was a small list, which means no quality setups at times. Large list means very time consuming. You are wasting a lot of time. Plus, during the live markets, you would be missing opportunities. These scanners are always lagging. You don't have anything for demand and supply. So how do the alerts they take care of it? The way it takes care of it is that even if you have a small list, that small list, majority of these scripts will always show you quality setups, right? It's not that if you're going through a list of 10 scripts, none of them will have a quality setup. So whenever you get an alert, you always get an alert for a quality setup. So even if it is 10 scripts, all 10 scripts will have something quality on the lower time frame, right? Now, if it is a large list, again, that large list will also have quality setups. So in case you want to plan more number of trades, you will have your large list with you. But if you want to make that list small, you again have your filter sheet, which I was telling you, which will help you further fine tune and have a smaller list of the stocks which you can look into. The next thing is most of the stocks, they do not have quality zones, but using these alerts, most of the stocks will always have quality zones where you're not wasting time and you're also saving time because you're only looking at stocks where something quality was identified. Now, here during the live markets, you can't keep an eye, right? Unless and until, let's say, you have 5, 6 monitors, and on every monitor you have multiple charts, and you're monitoring it all at same given point of time. But now that is not required because our system, our alerts, they keep an eye on all time frames, on all scripts, which is where as soon as the zone is identified, you get your alert. You don't have to keep a watch on a number of scripts. Right. The next thing is scanners are lagging, but here we don't have any lag. I told you the maximum lag which we have is less than 30 seconds. And that is also something which we have done on purpose. Otherwise, we could have done it as good as real time. But there were some challenges making it as good as real time, which is where we had to put in some lag. And that lag which we have given is less than 30 seconds, right? So within less than 30 seconds, you get your alerts. And yes, we had no scanners available based on demand and supply. This one is purely based on demand and supply, right? So that's another advantage, that it will always be identifying the scripts for you based on demand and supply and not based on any conventional technical analysis. So if you want to join our demo channel, this is the URL for it, which is https t.me/sk-alert demo. What you can also do is you can also send a message to @Surjit Kakad on Telegram, and we can add you to that demo channel, which is where you can experience this demo channel. So what happens on our demo channel is that on all trading days from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, whatever alerts for hourly incomes, daily incomes, weekly incomes, and monthly incomes are getting generated, you get those alerts live, so you can also experience it, right? How these alerts they work and how soon you get your alerts. So for that, that's the URL. And like I also said, you can message us at Sujit Kakar. That's the username, a Telegram username, and you can ask us to, request us to add you to the demo channel. So these are the two ways how you can join our demo channel. Now, we have been using it for some time. I guess we launched it about a month back, and we also have been getting feedback from some of the people who are using our service. So I'm just sharing, some of the screenshots for the feedback which we are getting from the students so that you can see it. Now here is a feedback, and the feedback says that the SK Alert service made my life very easy for scanning trading opportunities in live markets and finding high quality SET. SET stands for your stop loss entry and targets trades after market hours. Previously, I had to spend at least 3 hours after market hours to find good trading opportunities. Also, now I can easily find trading opportunities in live markets and ride on the market momentums, right? So that's just one of the feedback. Similarly, I have a feedback from another student. So what I'll do is I'll, move to the next one and move to the next one, so that, later if you want to read these, you can always watch the recording, you can pause it and read it, right? So I don't want to go through the complete thing. So let's get into the real stuff. So I'm just showing you some of the feedbacks which we have been getting from students who have been using our service for the alerts. And here are also some of the feedbacks, which I got from, via email, where you can see, somebody sent me an email that, they had two successful trades, and they also sent the screenshots that, when the zone was formed, we got the alert, waited for prices to retrace back, they got their target, waited for price to retrace back, they got their target. Right now, before I move forward, let me also add this, that it's very, very important. Just because you get an alert, don't assume alert to be a trading tip or a trading call, right? So it is only helping you filter stocks. So what will happen is, out of the complete list of stocks, which we are having in our watch list, it will tell you this is the stock where you have a pattern of demand or where you have a pattern of supply. What you need to do is you will have to go to that script and verify whether this zone matches with your trade plan or it doesn't match with your trade plan. If it matches with your trade plan, that's a trading opportunity for you. If it doesn't match with your trade plan, you skip that. You wait for the next alert to get generated, right? Let's also see a few more examples. So here he said, this was from the alert on 26th of March. Prices came back, got the entry. This was the alert, but he didn't took the entry, probably missed. Here again, from yesterday's alert, got 3:1 within 3 minutes, right? So you got the alert, which was this rally-based rally with a gap up. Prices came back, just touched, and within 3 minutes, he said he got a 3:1 on this. Here's also another example that today's Tata Steel alert, M5 means it was an alert on the 5 minute chart, and the alert was at 11 a.m. That's the reason you can see 11.00. So at 11 a.m. got the alert and gave around 4.67 is to 1, right? So it would have matched with his trade plan. Prices came back, gave an RR of more than 4 is to 1. Here is another example, just finished 2 is to 1 alert. It was on, again, 5 minutes. The alert was generated at 1:30. The script was Coal India, right? It was a pattern of rally-based rally. So can you see this is how these alerts, they get generated, and people, they are taking advantage of these alerts even for trading them the same day. Again, a few examples. Today's alert in LIC, right? Got the entry, got the target. Again, Cipla, got the entry, got the target. And, a few more examples. So, I'm just showing you some of these examples. So this is BEL, HIT from alert, target got hit, right? So now let me show you the demo of these alerts. So I just showed you some feedbacks which we got, and, some screenshots of also the trades which, our students have been taking based on these alerts. So let me first show you how these alerts, they work. Just give me 1 second. right? So I'll bring that up. Great. So here you can see this is your Telegram app for desktop. And if I scroll up, I'll just start with 13th of April, which was the last trading day, which is Friday. So what happened is on Friday, right here. So can you see the very first alert which you get is at 9:21, right? Because the market, it opens at 9:15. So the first 5-minute candle will complete at 9:20. So the first alert is always at 9:21. After that, you will see that it is on the multiple of 5 minutes. So the very first alert was on 9:21, and it gave you an alert that you have Hindustan Unilever demand zone, which is a drop-based rally on 5 minutes chart. Early in the morning, it also gives you the alert for the monthly income. So here you also had an alert for monthly income. So can you see it's D1, which means you have a demand zone on the daily chart, on BPCL, which is a rally-based drop, right? So there are again few alerts for 5 minutes chart, right? Alerts for 15 minutes chart. 15 minutes chart basically would imply that these are your daily income trades, right? Then again, you can see at 30, then again at 35, because these are hourly income trades. So every 5 minutes, if a new zone is identified on the chart, you keep getting those alerts, and you can see throughout the day you're getting alerts for your hourly incomes, you're getting your alerts for your daily incomes, weekly incomes, right? So let me now just show you how these alerts can be used. And so just give me a second. I'll bring up one Excel sheet just to show you as a demo. So just give me a few seconds to bring that up. All right. Right, so just a few more seconds. All right, the timestamps. All right, so just a minute, and I should be done in a few more seconds. Done. So you should be able to see this sheet now. This is basically the filter sheet which we use. So what people they generally do is, if you are a trader who is trading full time, yes, as and when you get your alerts, you can go to the chart and do your analysis. But if you're a trader who comes at the end of the day and then you want to do your analysis, what you do is at the end of the day, select all these alerts, just copy them, right? Copy selected test, just paste it in this Excel sheet, and once you have pasted it, you're good to go. Now all you need to do is go to the filter sheet, and here you can see, let me remove all the filters first. Right, so now you can see that you can filter your results based on your preferences. As an example, let's imagine that I'm a person who only does weekly income trades and daily income trades. So I can say that I don't want to see all the alerts. I only want to see the alerts which are for daily incomes and which are for weekly incomes. And as soon as I click on OK, you can see I only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 scripts to look into. Out of these, you might also see that some of them might be getting repeated because maybe two zones form the same day or something like that, right? But you have a very small list, and you can see the number of scripts is only 16. So now instead of going through 50 scripts, or instead of going to 130 scripts, or going through 200 scripts, you know that for today I only have to look at 16 scripts. And if I got an alert, whether it was a daily income alert, whether it was a weekly income alert, you also get to know that. What was the pattern, whether it was a rally-based rally, a drop-based rally, a drop-based drop, or a rally-based drop, right? You get to know that. Plus, at what time was that zone created, right? So you also get to know the timing of that zone, so that if it is a little bit challenging for you, you can always just see at what time was the zone generated. You can go to that same timestamp, and you will be able to identify that demand zone or supply zone at that specific time. Similarly, you have your filters for a number of things. As an example, if you have your preference that probably you would have seen that based on your trading style, that maybe the zones which get formed in the first 2 hours are the best zones. So what you can do is you can just select the first 2 hours and you can disable rest of it. So it will only show you the zones which were formed during the first 2 hours. As an example, if I want to see only the zones which were formed from, let's say, until 11 o'clock, right? So I can select that only show me the zones which were formed till 11 o'clock. So it will now only show me the zones which were formed till 11, and showing me all purposes of trading, which is from hourly, monthly, weekly. So I have all the information with me. If I want to see all of them, yes, I can again select all and it will show me all the alerts. The next thing is, if you have your favorite list of scripts, you can also choose that these are the only scripts I want to look at. The rest of the scripts I don't want to see. So it will just filter the scripts which you want to look at. The next thing is your purpose. I've already showed you that as an example. That again, as an example, if I just want to see DITs and WITs, it will now only show me DITs and WITs. And the next one is if you have your preferences that maybe you only prefer to trade the continuation patterns, right? So you can say that, or maybe if you feel, as an example, just give me 1 second. Right, or maybe as an example, maybe you use uh, correlations. Yeah, maybe your correlations with Nifty, or maybe your correlations with some sectors, and maybe the Nifty is in demand area, or the Nifty is very low in the curve and you're expecting it to move up, because of which you don't want to get into shorts, you only want to get into long trades. So what you can do is you can just disable that. I don't want to see the shorting opportunities, I only want to see the long opportunities. And if I click OK, it is only showing you your long opportunities now. Right, so this is how you have a number of ways where after getting the list, again, you can filter your list based on your preferences. Can we get this filter sheet? Now, this filter sheet is only available to our students, right? So people who subscribe for our service, or people who have already taken courses with us, they have access to this filter sheet. Otherwise, it is not available publicly. Now, let me show you some examples. So what I'll do is I'll say that I want to see all kind of zones, and let's pick randomly any of the scripts. So let's say TCS. So can you see on TCS, we got an alert at 115 that we have a rally based rally. So let's look at TCS 115. It is a weekly income trade. Weekly income trade basically implies that your zone would be on the hourly chart. So I'll go to TCS, I'll open the hourly chart, and we'll see at 115, right? So let's do that. Just give me a second. Let me bring up a chart. And then we'll go to TCS and we'll look at the hourly chart. So there we have it, right? So I just got this chart and I'll click on no thanks. Right, and let's bring up TCS. And so I'll wait for the chart to load. Okay, and now we'll go to the hourly chart. And on hourly chart, we have an alert, which is where it says you have a right TCS, you have a rally base rally at 115. Right, so can you see this is where we had this rally base rally, and this is where if you look at the time, this is an hourly chart. So you can see at the bottom the timestamp is 12:15. So the candle started at 12:15, would have completed at 1:15. That's the reason your alert is at 1:15. So as soon as this candle completed, you got your alert that you have a rally base rally kind of a pattern on TCS. Let's take another example. Let's say, because we are already on weekly, let's say Axis Bank, right? So let's bring up Axis Bank, AXIS, Axis Bank. Right, so on Axis Bank, in fact, you would have got this alert for this, gap up, and then we have a rally based drop, which basically makes it as a rally based drop. But here it will say a drop based drop. The reason for that is because it purely works based on your boring candle and exciting candle. So because this is a boring, this is leg in, so that's your drop, base and a drop. So you would have got your alert for this. And can you see I've also planned it as a trade for me based on the alert, which is this drop base drop. So can you see I got this alert. I've also planned it as a trading opportunity for me. Let's look at some other script, right? Let's take as an example of a daily income trade. So can you see on Glenmark at 1045? So let's pick up Glenmark 1045, GLENMARK, right? So on Glenmark at 1045. All right, so can you see we got an alert. I'm also using That one also as my trading opportunity. Let me pick something else for you, which I don't have on my list. So Axis, BPCL, Glenmark, Sale. So let's forget these four and pick something which is out of this. So let's take Hindustan Unilever, right? So let's take that, HINDU, Hindustan Unilever. And it is a supply zone at 9:45 daily income, right? So we'll be on 15 minutes, and at 9:45, you got an alert that you have a drop base drop. So can you see 9:45 drop base drop? And this is where you have that drop base and a drop. And if you look at the time, can you see this candle started at 9:30 and would have completed at 9:45? So as soon as this was formed, you got your alert. So if you wanted to take the trade the same day, and if you were having your entry a little bit below and the stop loss a little bit above, probably you would have also got your trade. Right, so this is where, in fact, this is wrong because on the above we are getting a lot of room, so it would be something like this. Right, so can you see prices came back to the same supply zone the very same day and then gave us reaction from that zone. So as soon as the zone was formed, you got your alert at 9:45. So that's the beauty, that as soon as the zones are getting formed, you immediately start getting your alert. Sir, I'm not 390, what to do? Right, so this is where we will not be getting into the analysis of the scripts, right? So we are just looking at this, right? So I really apologize. I wouldn't be getting into the analysis as of now, right? So let's look at another example. Sale. Do we have sale in my list, right? So let me not take sale. Let's take something else. Reliance Infra. So can you see we have Reliance Infra? You got an alert at 12:15 that you have a rally-based rally. So let's bring up RELINFRA. At 12:15, we have a rally-based rally. We are on 15 minutes chart. And at 12:15, this is where you would have got that rally-based rally. Because if you look at this candle, can you see the candle started at 12? So here at the bottom, you can see the candle started at 12 and would have completed at 12:15. So you got this alert, rally, base rally. And the same day, prices came back to the zone and you got a reaction from that zone. So can you see if you would have got the alert the same day itself, you also had the opportunity, you could have participated, which otherwise is not possible unless and until you're looking at a lot of scripts and keeping an eye on all the scripts. So this is where the advantage is, that as soon as the zones are formed, you always get your alerts. And I just showed you a few examples where prices came back to the zone the same day, and those levels, they also worked out. But one thing which I'll again say is that just because you're getting these alerts, just because you got an alert on Reliance Infra that at 12:15 you have a rally-based rally, does not mean that you can blindly trade this. Yes, you know that now you have a rally-based rally. All you need to do is just match it with your trade plan. If it matches with your trade plan, yes, it's a trading opportunity for you. If it doesn't match with your trade plan, wait for the next alert to show up, right? So that's how these alerts, they work. They give you the alerts as soon as a zone gets created. And if you want to take advantage the same day, yes, you can do that. If you come back at the end of the day, yes, you would have missed some trades, but you will also have some opportunities. Like you can see, I've already analyzed some opportunities for the next day for me. So again, whenever you're getting these alerts are purely based on your boring and exciting candles. So some of the features which you will see, one, that whenever you get your alert, your leg outs will always be explosive. The number of candles in the basing would always be 3 or less than 3. And the time you get your alert, the zone would always be fresh, right? Because as soon as the zone gets formed, that is the time you get your alert. So the zone will always be fresh. It will always be 3 or less than 3 candles in the basing. And the leg out will always be an explosive candle, right? So those three things are already integrated into it. It by default take care of it. And that's the reason I said that even if you have a small list, that small list will always have quality zones. Even if you have a big list, that big list will also always have quality zones, right? So whenever you get your alerts, the alerts will always be for quality zones. So let's take, let's say another example. Let's pick some other script as an example. Let's say Infi. Do I have Infi on my list? No. So let's look at Infi. So can you see on Infi, you got an alert at 145 DIT, right? So 145 rally base rally. So let's go to Infi. 145 rally base rally. So if I go to Infi at 145, this is 130. So this would be the alert. So can you see here, you got the alert for this rally, 2 candles in the basing, and then a rally, right? So here you got an alert, but this one prices came back, just paused for some time, and the zone got violated, right? So again, like I said, just because you get an alert does not mean all trades are valid. So you'll have to check. If this was valid, then I'll say it would have been just a stopped out trade. But yes, if it was not matching with your trade plan, maybe not a trade for you, right? But again, can you see the time you got the alert? That is where you had a picture of rally-based rally on the chart. Let's look at some other example. Let's say Dish TV. Do I have Dish TV here? No. So let's look at this one. So can you see you have Dish TV 215, right? So 215 drop base drop Dish TV. Dish DSH TV. At 215 we have a drop base drop. So 215 is right here, right? So this is 2 o'clock. So this is where you have your 215, and this drop base drop is what you would have got the alert for. And you can see prices came here, gave a small bounce, again came here, small bounce, and then the zone got violated, right? So you always get your alerts when you have a zone formed on the lower time frame. So that is what it does. It gives you the alerts as soon as a zone is identified. Then yes, you match your zone with your trade plan. If it is valid, yes, that's your trading opportunity. If it is not valid, you will simply skip that trading opportunity. Now, I'll also show you a few things. Just give me a second. Let me bring that up for you. So some of the questions which we keep getting very, very frequently, what we have done is we have created this FAQ page. To go to this FAQ page, that's the URL that is also provided in the description. So if you look at the description under the video, you will have the URL for this FAQ page, and it answers most of the common questions which we have been getting. So one question which we get is that which all stocks are scanned by these alerts. So this is where you have a list of all these stocks which this scanner is looking at. So as of now, it's a list of at around, I guess, 86, 87 scripts, which it is monitoring constantly, right? And that's the list of the stocks. What we have also done is, can we get indication what is happening in intermediate and HTF? See, the fact is we are also working on it to integrate the higher time frame as well as the intermediate time frame. But one problem there is, can you see we've also given the same question here in the Q&A, because that's a question which we get very, very frequently. So are the alerts taking care of location on the curve and trend, right? So that's your intermediate and high time frame. So the thing is that every trader is unique based on their personality and trading style. Some are aggressive, some are conservative, because of which they will have different preferences for the locations and trends. And what do I mean by different preferences for the location? Some people might be using even tested zones for the curves. Some people might only be using fresh. Even if you're using fresh, some might be using wick to wick, some might be using border to wick, right? Which is where your location on the curve will change depending upon whether you're using tested, whether you're using border to wick, whether you're using wick to wick. Similarly, when it comes to trend, some people might like to go against the trend, some people might like to trade with the trend, where again the preferences changes. So we want our alerts to cater to all trading styles and trading personality, be that aggressive traders or conservative traders, right? And that is the reason we have not included the curve in the trend analysis as of now, but we do have plan for it. We are just looking at how it can be done in a way so that still everyone can have advantage, right? So we are working on it and might do it very, very soon. But if I tell you frankly, I'm not very keen on it. The reason for that is everyone will have a different trade plan based on the curve analysis and based on the trend analysis. So the first thing is, when you get the alerts, you can see the number of alerts are anyhow a very, very small list. And when you have a very small list, it will not take you a lot of time to complete your analysis. So it's better to have more scripts to look into, right, versus being very, very having a very small list. So maybe we might add it in the future. As of now, not very keen on it, but still working on it, right? That is what I'll say. But we also did was that we already have it for the Indian stocks, but we have a lot of students who are international students who have also been asking us that if you can do the same thing for them as well. So we have also started it on the international Forex. And these are the pairs which our scanner is looking at as of now for the international Forex. If you trade the international Forex market and you want the alerts for that, now we also have an option for it. I'll also show you some of the alerts for the international Forex. Just give me a second. So I'll just show you, give me a second. Right. So here you can see that these are the alerts which we were using, just testing as of now. So you can see you had alert for on the hourly chart, which was on Euro GBP, which was at 1 o'clock. Now this time is based on the uh, Eastern Standard Time, right? So that is based on the US Eastern Standard Time, because most of the traders, they use the Eastern Standard Time for the Forex trading. So that is what this timestamp is here. And you can see again, some alerts. This is your hourly, which would be a weekly income trade. 15 minutes would be your, so here what we have done is 15 minutes is your hourly income trade. And on the hourly chart, it's your daily income trade, right? So that's your hourly income, that's your daily income. For your weekly income, we are using 4 hours chart, and for your monthly income, it will be the daily charts, right? So this is where you can see, you also have your alerts as and when the alerts are getting generated on different scripts, right? But here we're using Forex. So like somebody said, can we also do it for commodities? Yes, the way, we are doing it for Forex, we are doing it for Indian stocks. We can use it on any script. All we need to do is we just have to add that script to our watch list. And once we add it to our watch list, irrespective whether it is the international Forex market, or it is the international stock market, or is it the Indian Forex market, or is it the Indian commodities market, we can add anything into our watch list. And whatever we add into our watch list, our alert system by defaults start monitoring that script and gives you the alerts as soon as some demand and supply areas are getting formed. Now, the next thing is a very important question, which I'm very sure all of you would be having, is what is the pricing for the service? So let me go to the page where I can show you the pricing and how these alerts can be registered for. So basically, we have 3 options. The very first one is only alerts. This is for somebody who is not a student with us and still wants to use this service. Now, when it comes to our courses, we have 2 courses. One is called as the POS and the other one is called as POS Plus. So people who are POS members, they also get 50% discount on the regular listed prices. People who are part of our POS Plus members, they also get 50% discount. So whatever the regular price is, our students, they get 50% discount on it. But yes, they have people who are POS Plus members, they also get an advantage, and that advantage is when they register for these services, they also get a complimentary session if they are registering for the 60-day subscription. So that's the reason we have given it differently, so that people who want to go for that complimentary session, they can also choose that. So let's get back to the very basic one, so that I can tell you what is the pricing and how this would work. So here you have 4 different choices. The very first one is your 30 days for NSE. So if you only want the alerts for the stocks, which I just showed you, where we have a list of around 86, 87 stocks. What we have also done is, some time back, we also asked people who are using our services that this is the list which we have. If you want us to add more number of scripts, just send us an email which scripts you would like to see there on the from the NSE script list. And if that script we feel is liquid enough and it is not very, very cheap, we would also add that, right? So we can also customize that list based on the request we are getting from our subscribers. Now, when you go for the 30-day subscription, it is 2,400 plus taxes. But our students, like I said, they get 50% discount. So for the students, it's 1,200 plus taxes. Now, people who go for 60 days, regular price is 4,000. Our students, again, they get 50% discount on it, which is where it would be 2,000 plus taxes. Now, when it comes to the Forex market, the pricing is a little bit on the higher side. And the reason for that is that the Indian markets, they are only open for 6 hours, right? But the Forex market, they are getting traded 24 hours. So which is where, our system has to run 24 hours to monitor it. So that's the reason there the pricing is a little bit more. So this was 2,400. So that is where, it's a double of it, which is 4,800. If you are not a student, if you're a student, again, you get 50% discount on it. And for 60 days, it's 8,000. And if you are a student, again, you get 50% discount on it. Right. So that is how it is. These are the 4 options. You have option for your NSEs. You also have your option for your Forex. This will work from 9:21 to 3:25. This is where you'll be getting the alerts 24 hours, right? As soon as the zone gets formed, 24 hours, it's constantly running, and it will give you the alerts for the Forex market. Right, so that was a quick, little short demo for our alert service, right? So if you have any questions, you can ask your questions, put it in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll end the session in few minutes, right? So I'll just wait if you have some questions just to answer them. Then we'll be ending these sessions. So again, if you want to go to the product page, you can go to www.sujitkakkar.com/alerts. That is where the product page is. And at the bottom of this video, right, you also have, or this live stream, you also have the URLs for the product page and also for the FAQs. So some of the common questions have already been answered there. And if you still have some questions, queries, you can always use the contact us tab on our website, and you can shoot us an email and we can help you with that. And again, thank you so much for joining in, taking out time on Sunday morning, right, and being here to attend this live feed. And again, I'll wait for a few more seconds because I don't see any questions coming up. So in case you have any questions, now is the time to type it in. Otherwise, in the next few seconds, I'll be ending the session, right? So I'll wait for a few more seconds and then I'll end the session if I don't get any questions. So again, I'll say thank you so much for joining in. Can we get alerts for FNO stocks? Now, the first thing is because you're getting the alerts for the stocks, the same levels are applicable to your futures as well, right? So what will happen is if you look at the futures, almost at the same time on the futures also, you'll be able to spot a demand area or a supply area, right? So it's not required to have futures added to the list. When you are getting your alerts for the stocks, the same futures chart will also show you a demand area or a supply area. Can we get alert on the big trade list? Yes, we can do that. But the fact is, in that big trade list, there are a lot of stocks which are very cheaply priced, right? Maybe some are trading around 10, 15 rupees. We don't want to have those stocks in our list. And there are also a lot of stocks which do not have very high liquidity, right? So that is the reason some of those stocks which were not having very high liquidity and very cheaply priced, we removed it. But like I said, if we get requests from our subscribers and if we feel that stock is liquid enough and it is also having good enough price, we can definitely add it to our big trade list, right? So we can definitely do it. Can we get alert in commodities? Yes, we can definitely do it. But like I said, in commodities, you only have a handful of scripts to look into. So that is the reason we have still not started with commodities. But yes, if you get a request from a lot of people, because again, the challenge would be for commodities, we'll have to run the system not just for 6 hours, it has to run for almost 12 hours, right? But if you get a lot of people who are interested in commodities, but the very first thing is the list is very, very small, which is where having an alert system doesn't make sense because you only have to look at very small list of stocks, not very time consuming. That's the reason we didn't start it on commodities. In fact, we also got the request for the Indian Forex market. But again, if you look at the Indian Forex market where you have INR against the other major currencies, it's only, I guess, 4 or 5 scripts which are available, right? So that's the reason we didn't add for Forex and we didn't add for commodities. But yes, if we start getting a lot of requests for it, we might start it, right? But as of now, we have no plans. The only reason is it's a very small list you anyhow have to look at. So good morning, Sujit. Will the session get repeated later again anytime I missed to attend? Yes. So what will be happening is if you missed it, don't worry. Because the recording will be available in some time, right? So in some time you will be seeing that the recording will be available online. You can go through the recording and you can watch it. And I also got a request from someone that if you can do it in Hindi. So probably next Sunday I'll be doing it in Hindi, the same session, which is where I'll be explaining whatever we discussed today in Hindi as well. Which is when if you want to join in, you can join that Hindi session. Otherwise, recording will be available in, I'll say, maybe 15 to 20 minutes or maybe in half an hour, the recording should be there available to go through. So perfect. Thank you so much for joining in and enjoy your Sunday. I'll see you again very, very soon. Some exciting stuff for you, right? So we constantly keep on working a lot of things to make traders' life a little easy, right? And we are again trying our best to give you the best tools possible in the market so that your life is easy as a trader and you can easily do your analysis and find your trading opportunities. So thank you so much. Enjoy your Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.